Hi, my name is Tiffany Lee and my reg name is 156650. So for this PFC 7006 presentation, we are going to critically evaluate and examine my coaching cultures. So what things will we discuss? We will cover a number of things throughout the presentation, including what is culture, what is coaching, what is a coaching culture, and I will cover a number of key aspects of my coaching culture that I feel fit for me and the things that I may have felt and gone through by being a female coach, my role as a coach, and where I'm looking to go with my coaching. We'll go into detail with the power behind coaching cultures, the politics involved in coaching, and the contemporary issues involved within coaching. If we look at cultures and what is and what are cultures, I think the best way to describe or define cultures, having looked at a number of articles and definitions, I feel the most understood and used more often than not would be by Nito, 2008, who defines culture as the ever-changing values, traditions, social and political relationships, and worldwide created, shared, and transformed by a group of people bound together by a combination of factors that include a common history, geographic location, language, social class, and religion. Culture is complex and intricate, and we can look at culture in so many different ways due to where we are, what we do, how we have seen things. Everyone is going to have a view, whether different or not, on culture. So what about coaching? Coaching, again, has so many definitions within research, and this can all depend on the type of coaching, I suppose, that you're involved in. Coaching within sport is viewed as a social process comprising a series of negotiated outcomes between structurally influenced agents within an ever-changing environment. Cushion, Armour and Jones, 2003, Bogswarsky, Barrett and Henshin, 2002, Sori and Durand, 1998. While sports coaching can be defined as a series of embedded, taken for granted socio-cultural interactions that occur between a social actor within a contextually bound environment, Cushion and Jones, 2006 and 2012, Groom, Cushion and Nelson, 2012, and Jones and Crosby, 2015, both interlinking with the environment, always changing when coaching, and there are things within coaching that will not change. The game is the same, whether we coach it in one way or another. We're all looking to get the same outcomes within the development and learning of players. Then we move on to coaching cultures. In an article by Milner and McCarthy, 2020, coaching culture was defined by Hart, 2003, as an organizational setting in which not only formal coaching occurs, but also most or a large segment of individuals in the organization practice coaching behaviors as a means of relating to, supporting, and influencing each other, working towards giving feedback during the coaching and interpreting learning and development in sessions. A coaching culture is one in which the regular review of performance and just-in-time feedback is expected. Lindbaum, 2007. We can discuss and talk about the different coaching cultures, which include the coaching approach that we use, leadership, enhanced performance, Arguel et al. 2009, creativity, Herman and Felfy, 2014, empowerment, Fong and Snape, 2015, and engagement, Crabb, 2011. Coaching cultures have been linked with improving performance and creating positive performance within sports, Gormley and Van Nieuwenburg, 2014, Leonard Cross, 2010. The coaching behaviors that we use to achieve engagement and high performance, Turner, 2010, all influence the way in which the players believe, trust, and approach us. If the players feel that they're relatable or that they can understand what we are doing and why we're doing these things, they are more likely to feel that they want to learn and develop through your way of coaching. Learning about coaching behaviors and how they can be perceived by players, studies found that positive reinforcement, instructional feedback, and encouragement are some of the most crucial techniques for coaches. Lacey and Das, 1985, Small and Smith, 1980. These are the techniques that help to get the best results out of players, all while ensuring that players and athletes are happy with the coaching. Coaches guide athletes' improvements in physical, technical, mental, and tactical skills, as well as facilitating their personal and social development. Fletcher and Scott, 2010. I feel that my coaching behaviors include a lot of feedback to players and encouragement to keep them interested in the sport. What coaching cultures do I use as a coach? Firstly, research has found that we need to be culturally sensitive when coaching, as culture exerts a considerable influence over identities, motivations, and behaviors. Cassidy, Jones, and Portrat, 2008. The term coaching cultures is generally understood to be an approach of how leaders, managers, and staff engage and develop everyone involved within the team, individual and organizational performance, Hawkins 2012. The styles and coaching approaches used to ensure the learning and development within coaching. A coaching culture is about delivering results, improving performance, and making the most of people's potentials, Parslow 2016. The coaching cultures involved in my coaching are always based on the players. I want them to learn and develop at every level. Due to the level that and standard I'm currently working towards, I like for my players' development to come first rather than having a winning mentality. I'm always looking to provide feedback, mostly positive, but at times I can pull players to the side to discuss what we both think we could do differently, giving the players the opportunity beforehand to use guided discovery and trial and error. The players I coach don't play matches currently, and I can't see them wanting to play for a while. I believe that they are just taking part in football because their friends are. They want to have fun as well as learn. Social relationships as a female coach. As a female coach who works in the female game, I think the players benefit having me, as I have had the experience of working with both male and female coaches at various levels within my coaching and playing career. I knew what I did and didn't like within sessions. The way in which I was coached varied from coaches' experiences within the female game, and I feel that I can make changes within my coaching to ensure that I'm making the players feel that they can talk to me at all times and feel that they can enjoy training at all times without feeling that they may get told to do more, as they aren't able to compete at the same standards as males within the game at a similar level. But I'll ensure that they know that we're working towards their development and learning only. We're not looking to compete against anyone of any standard. I've gained various coaching qualifications over the years, and I'm currently going through my UAFB license. So I'm gaining further knowledge within the game to help with the learning and development with the players that I coach. Research in an article by Norman 2008 found that 64% of all coaches in the UK have never received or undertaken continuous professional development, CPD, during the course of their coaching careers. Sports Coach UK 2007. That is a huge proportion of the coaching population within the UK that are not helping to learn and develop within their own coaching development that will have massive effect on the players that they're working with. This leads to grave concern with the lack of qualified and educated coaches, Anderson 2010. What is pedagogy? Pedagogy is based on instruction and learning, teaching and learning, or the science of teaching, in which Stone 2000 suggested that pedagogy should be obligatory in education publications. Pedagogy is said to be an inclusive concept that embraces the four individual but interlinked elements of teaching and coaching: learning, knowledge base, and learning environment, but it has an overriding focus on the unifying goal of learning. Jones, Armour, and Potrat 2005. Pedagogy towards my learning and development. Research by Gilbert, Cote, and Mannett 2006 found that we would expect formal education to be the most important, but upon further research, they found that coaches tend to learn more from their day-to-day experiences, especially if we were to think about the amount of time we actually spend in a formalized learning environment. Within my coaching role, there is not very many formal meetings or learning processes. We may have an inset day each term, but this is not really based on what I am teaching, coaching the players. You have a weekly department meeting, but that again is mainly to discuss issues rather than the development of players. My coaching process is to learn and develop further. The discourse associated with sports coaching has come to adapt that coaching should be treated as a managed and integrated process. Lyle 1996, Abraham and Collins 2011, Cushin et al. 2006, Light and Robert 2010, rather than an unsystematic aggregation of isolated training episodes. My coaching process involves me planning a lot of my sessions well in advance, and then before delivering the sessions, I will reflect to past sessions and evaluate and reflect as to whether I feel that the athletes that I'm coaching will be comfortable during the session, or whether I need to make some changes to ensure that they're learning and developing during the session and not confused and not learning anything. The process of being able to reflect plays a hugely important part in employability skills and student work experience. Moon 2004. Within reflection, we can reflect during sessions, before and after, and I think this is a key developmental skill for all coaches at all levels and standards, and you will always continue to improve the way in which you reflect. As you will never be at the top with reflection, it is a learning tool that you are always developing. I will continue to learn and develop within my coaching process by observing other coaches, recording and watching about my sessions, evaluating what and how I could do things differently, and then look into the different coaching styles that I could try that I may not use already. So what is my role now? Currently I work in a boarding school within the boarding house, but I also teach PE, including running a football session for a group of 14 to 16 under 16s once a week for about 1.5 hours during their PE lesson. The group of girls that I work with have all chosen this sport as they're given a number of options to choose from. I've worked with this particular group of girls for just over 4 months and have developed an incredible amount considering that 90% of them have never played football before. My coaching philosophy. Research by Cassidy Jones and Potrack 2009 claim that a coach's philosophy, above all else, informs of a coaching behaviour. As coaches, having a coaching philosophy helps to give you something to work towards, so a starting point in your sessions. And it may offer much for understanding and developing coaching practices. Jenkins 2010. My coaching philosophy has always been for the players and athletes to have fun, but for me to ensure that they're always learning and developing at the same time. This keeps them enjoying the game, reducing dropout, but giving them the coaching that is necessary at the same time. I also look to always learn from what I'm doing to see how I can go about creating improvements. Gilbert and Tudor 2001, Nassett and Gallimore 2006. Some coaches have claimed that they do not see much value in having a coaching philosophy. They're trying to cope with the more tangible aspects of coaching, such as the session content and structure, Nash, Spruill and Horton 2008. What am I working towards? Currently, I'm completing my UFB, which is due to finish in February, if COVID allows that. This has been extremely difficult to work towards with the current pandemic, as it has not allowed to work to the best of my ability, and assessments have all been delivered online, which has meant I've been able to deliver my practical sessions that I've wanted or needed to practice in order for me to be able to reflect on the way in which I'm delivering, creating opportunities for me to use the new tools and learning to interpret into my coaching sessions. In September 2021, the school that I'm working with has a football academy, working in association with the school, and I'm going to get involved with the running of some sessions each week, and I'm looking to possibly observe other coaches delivering sessions, as well as the classroom-based work that they'll be delivering. In the long term, I'm going to look at working within an academy setting and see where that takes me within the game and further progressing with my coaching badges. What is power within coaching cultures? Research in an article by Rylander 2016 referred to a definition by Uckel 2006 that claimed that power is a central component in an all-leader-follower relationship, and particularly so in a traditional coach practices. Denison Mills and Conoval 2015. In team sports, we will use power when trying to influence and shape the behaviour of the athletes to increase the team's performance. Potrack and Jones 2009b. And the athletes believe that following instruction is crucial to be effective in a team sport setting. Holt and Dunn 2004. This allows the players to believe in a way that they are having some sort of input into the instruction they're receiving, as they believe it is crucial, which we know if you follow instructions, it tends to give you the answer to what you want to know. French and Raven 1959 defined power as the ability to influence others, i.e. influence as kinetic power and power as latent influence. It is believed that there are 5 types of power, but Raven 1965 later added a 6th type of power. The 6 types of power include coercive, reward, legitimate, expert, referent, and information power. Expert power comes from the athlete's perceptions that the coach has knowledge in what the athletes need, value, or want. I think this is the main basis of the perception that my players have of me. They believe I can help them to develop in a way that can lead them to get somewhere. Referent power is based around social identification and social attraction, where the coach is seen as a role model, the athlete looks up to their role model and believes that they are someone that they can relate to. Legitimate power comes from the athlete's perception that the coach, due to their role, has the right to expert athletes to follow their directions. This is due to the result of socialization processes, where our athletes have internalized and accepted that a certain amount of power is tied to a coaching role. Raven 1992 later found that there to be 3 different types of legitimate power, which included legitimate equity, meaning I should comply in order to compensate for my previous bad behavior; legitimate reciprocity, meaning I ought to comply considering all the good things my coach has done for me; and finally, legitimate dependency, meaning the coach really needs me to do this for them. Legitimate power is central in the interaction between the team coach and athletes, Rylander 2016. Coercive and reward power is based on the athlete's belief that the coach can and will administer punishments due to the non-compliant behaviour or rewards due to the compliant behaviour. Information power is based on the coach's ability to use persuasion or logic to convince athletes that something is for the best. Within the 6 bases of power, there has been a concern raised in that they all overlap each other, where perceptions of one base can influence perceptions of other bases. Carson, Rowe, 1993. Research also found that expert and legitimate power seem to be the most relevant power basis for a coach's ability to influence and gain compliance. Rylander 2015, Wan and Pat 2001, as well as legitimate and expert power that has been shown to be the primary reason for athletes not to resist or protest when coaches behave immorally. DeQuan and Schroeder Braun 1996. We need to still consider that there are many factors that influence the types of power that affect the athlete's attributes. Characteristics such as age, gender, Rylander 2015, player status, Rylander 2015 and Terman 2006, skill level, Conter 2009b, level of education, Conter 2012, and length of the coach-athlete relationship, Rylander 2015, are all contributing factors. We must consider that at all times, which will vary, we will more than likely use most of these types of power to influence the players, even if we have used it to see if it works before thinking about interpreting this type of power into your coaching. What are the micropolitics involved in coaching? The term micropolitics has been used in an article by Potract and Jones 2009b to describe the political interactions that take place between social actors in different organizational settings, such as schools, sports clubs and teams, companies and families. Ball 1987, Blaze 1991, Blaze and Blaze 2002, Lindell 1994. Blaze 1991 stated that micropolitical refers to the use of formal and informal power by individuals and groups to achieve their goal. Both cooperative and conflictive actions and processes are part of the realm of micropolitics, while the macro and micro frequently interact. Recent research in coaching has also pointed to the role of micropolitical action in practice. Jones et al. 2004, Cushing and Jones 2006. Relating not only to novice coaches' induction into the field, where the need to make a mark appears of great significance, but also to be managed implementation, but also to the managed implementation of change. For example, a lot of coaches found that when they engaged in white lies or humorous friendly personas and constant face work to make athletes believe in them and their coaching agendas, it was believed that this had an advantage of getting the players on side. Cushing and Jones 2006. There's been research that has found that some coaches' behaviours stem down from the belief in acting appropriate. Cushing and Jones 2006 defined this as coaches' authoritarian discourse and actions stem from their belief in the need to act in a coach-appropriate way. It was an occupational demand. This is due to the belief in losing players' respect. Potrack et al. 2002. All while both players and coaches are looking for positions of hierarchy, involving themselves in constant micropolitical actions. Cushing and Jones 2006. So if we investigate how we can go about making some changes within using micropolitics, Ball 1987 claimed that micropolitical analysis can better reveal everyday tensions of interpersonal influences in social systems such as schools, giving a realistic account of how change can be generated, responded to, and generally handled at a personal level. If we were to analyse the powers that we worked with, looking into the views of changes that we wanted in a way that we coached them, the way that they were, I suppose, looked at in a school environment, and looking at the views of others in regard to them, we can look at interpreting these suggestions into future development. We can look at how power is interpreted into the lives of these athletes, where that is down to the coaches or coming from others involved. Power, as opposed to a fixed commodity, was perceived as being in a constant state of flux, with the ability to enforce it being relatively gained or lost through pending change. Fry, 1997. We all know that no matter what job you do, no matter who you are, there is always going to be someone above you that wants to have a say on everything that you do. Sometimes these things are not even up for discussion, but within coaching, we can pull strings and organize meetings to discuss whether we think the way that a coach, manager, yourself is running things correctly and how or what things could be done differently to better influence the player's development. I also believe that with the micropolitics involved in schools, where if something isn't working at times, it is not required, or if it's not required, then the powers above are then very keen to get rid of these aspects. And I feel that over the years, they have potentially not seen the benefit of having the girls in school playing football, as that isn't our main sport and it doesn't bring the school anything. But now it's helped with getting a football academy associated with the school, bringing in more pupils. The most important thing, I believe, money.